Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First of all, Mr. Speaker, I'd just like to remind the House of the definition of privacy is an individual's right to control their information. Mr. Speaker, as critic, I rose in the House for 3 days this week to raise the issue of a serious breach of privacy involving a student's test scores. The minister went on the attack, making accusations for days before they acknowledged that the breach had taken place. Then the Premier had the audacity to say that the minister had taken the proper steps, was proactive with his dealings on this file. Can the minister please advise why it took 2 days of questions in this House for him to respond to our questions regarding this gross violation of privacy?
Mr. Education.
Well, Mr. Speaker, thank you again for the opportunity. Quite clearly, the opposition were very vague in their questions earlier in the week, but on Wednesday, when they brought forward specific details, I immediately reviewed the situation according to the specific details that they brought forward on Wednesday. I determined quickly and acknowledged there was a breach of limited personal information, 2 breaches by my department and my office. And I've taken steps to contain any further sharing of this information. I've mentioned that I've regretted that this was an unfortunate situation. I've taken the steps to report this to the Independent Privacy Commissioner, which the opposition had called for on yesterday and again today in the media, that they want this independently reviewed. It's been referred to the Independent Privacy Commissioner. I respect the Independent Privacy Commissioner. We've done that immediately, up front, proactive, and we'll certainly look forward to further recommendations from the Privacy Commissioner in dealing with this issue in the prudent, responsible manner.
Duncan Ace.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. When I was a minister, the very first time this was brought to my attention on a privacy issue, I stood in the House and said that my department will definitely look into this. The minister had the opportunity to ask me what the information was and didn't. We were in the same room. Mr. Speaker, yesterday the Minister of Education delivered what can only be described as a political apology for the breach of privacy involving a student's test scores. It was made to the media through a prepared statement. If the minister wanted to exercise common sense and treat the victim of this breach with respect and dignity, the minister should have called and personally apologized to the victim and her family. Could the minister please advise why the apology he has offered has been driven more by political calculations rather than personal decency?
Mr. Education.
Well, Mr. Speaker, anybody that knows me, the people that know what I'm about, they know that I take my role and responsibilities very seriously. They know that my heart is for the children of the province of New Brunswick and for the future of our province. And I'm very sincere in the role that I take. And when the specific details came to my attention on Wednesday, I took swift, prudent, responsible steps to acknowledge, to show regret, to ensure that this would be reported to the Privacy Commissioner so that the independent review can occur. I've delegated any further dealings with this issue to my Deputy Minister, who's taking prudent steps. We're ensuring that we correct and prevent this from happening again, and we'll make sure that we certainly respect the process that's needed. In my experience of dealing with issues, I have moved with swift and prudent, responsible steps, and I'll continue to do that, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, the Alward government and the Minister of Education have referred to the breach of privacy with the students' test scores as limited. However, the family and the general public view this as a gross violation of privacy, worthy of a complaint with the right to information and protection of Privacy Commissioner. Privacy concerns and the impact of the breach need to be viewed from the perspective of the victim rather than the perspective of the politicians whose office is on the hook for the breach. Will the Minister of Education acknowledge that this was not limited, was a gross violation of privacy, and will he do the right thing?
Minister of Education.
Mr. Speaker, I think that I've proven myself in doing the right thing when issues have been brought to my attention in the past or present. I've moved with swiftness and responsibility. Whether that's our buildings crumbling in on my first day in office, we moved swiftly with structural reviews. Whether it's water testing of our water fountains, the health and safety of students, The integrity of our education system has been paramount in my work. And when information was brought to me specifically on Wednesday, I swiftly moved and looked into the situation. I've determined and acknowledged that there was a breach of limited personal information by my department and by my office, and we've proactively moved to the right steps of referring this to the Privacy Commissioner that the opposition continues to ask us to do. We've done that. We did that 2 days ago, Mr. Speaker. We're doing the right and prudent things. We're making sure that this is prevented from happening again. We'll improve our processes in the department, and we'll make sure that we do the right thing. Thank you.